Hi guys, welcome back. Yep, you guessed it. Today we're going to do a cake, but we are not doing a Halloween themed cake today. Today we are doing a very special cake. This was the first cake I ever really attempted to make, and it came out beautiful. It's very simple, very easy, but the looks are so very intimidating. This cake has been around for a long time. It's a Barbie doll princess cake. We're actually going to do Cinderella. And I'm going to show you guys step by step how to do this. Let you know now this is probably going to be in 2 parts, okay? I do want to show you step by step, but I don't want to run one video for too long. So maybe in 2 parts or more, just depending. But I'll have that information in the drop down box. So what we're going to start out with is we need roughly, you can go to my channel. I do have some recipes for chocolate or vanilla cake, whichever you prefer. But it is going to take, let's see here. It took 4 recipes, okay? Or you could use 4 box cake mixes, whatever's easiest for you. I have one that I baked in a Pyrex bowl, okay? And this is about an 8-inch wide circle, okay? And all I did was just, I flipped it out of the bowl and I leveled the top, okay? And then I baked another cake, vanilla cake, in an 8-inch round pan. And this was this was 2. This took 2 recipes, and this took 1. And I did 2 of these. So there's 2 there, 2 8-inch rounds, 2 full recipes, 1 recipe here, 1 recipe here, and then 2 here. So you just want to bake and cool your cakes completely, and then you want to level the top of them. And you can do this with a knife or a cake leveler. You can pick one up at the store for just a few dollars. And it makes it really nice and level, okay? So you want to level all 3 of your cakes, and then on a cake board you are going to prepare your cake board. If you use paper to keep it clean, go ahead and prepare it. You're going to place your cut side up. We're going to put our filling in the center, and this one's going to be vanilla buttercream, and we're going to place our second layer, so we'll be right back. Alright, so you can see that I just placed a layer of vanilla buttercream on top of that. Now I'm going to, and you put as much as you want or whatever flavor you want to use at this point. Now I'm going to take my top layer, my second cake, and I'm going to place that cut side, show you this, cut side, okay, because that's where we leveled. So that's the cut side, and that's the bottom. So cut side down, right on top of your first layer. Okay, you can make this into as many different sections as you want. If you want to do this into, cut each one into 2, you can do that. So we're just placing that on there, making sure that it's somewhat lined up. Now we're going to go ahead at this point, and we're going to place another layer of vanilla buttercream right on top. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'll come right back. Okay, so we have our second layer of cake on, and our layer of buttercream on top of that. Now we're going to take the third portion of our cake, which is the 1.5 to 2 recipes or boxes of cake mix baked in a bowl, an oven-proof bowl, and you are just going to place this cut side down. Okay, and this also minimizes the crumbs. Try to get that evenly placed, and you can squeeze it down a bit, that's fine. And it's okay, it may not fit perfectly, and that's alright, because we're going to be able to cover that up with our icing. So you can see how that's already beginning to come together to form her dress. Now you can buy a doll dress pan if you like, and that's fine. I like the big poofy dresses, and frankly I don't want to just go out and buy a pan, so I do it this way. It's much easier, and I already have the stuff on hand. So now I'm just going to go around, and we are going to smooth out our icing. Okay, and like I said, if your top layer is not a perfect fit, the top layer, where the top layer and the bowl cake meet, it's not a big deal. We're going to cover all that up with icing. And that's what we're doing now. We're pushing the icing that has squeezed out of the layers of the cake. We're pushing that back into those areas where the cakes are not fully touching. Okay, you're not going to be able to have it completely perfect. There's going to be gaps. So we're just going to cover those gaps in with icing. And that is our first step. We want this to be pretty secure. This is somewhat of our crumb coat as well. I mean, we are working toward that, but really our main goal right now is to go through and just fill in those gaps between the cake layers. Okay, so do that. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to leave you here forever, and I'm going to go ahead and just put a crumb coat on this, and then I'll bring you guys back. Alright, so I wanted to show you real quickly, we just filled in all those gaps, and then at that point I placed it into the refrigerator, let the icing set up. The steps of putting it in the fridge to let it set up are really important as well, so that way this becomes a more solid piece. These three pieces become more of a one solid piece. So then I just placed another layer all the way around and also put it back in the fridge for about 10 minutes to set up. And now I'm going to go ahead and start my crumb coat. I wanted to also take the time to kind of reiterate why I actually choose to do this in this fashion as opposed to the doll pan. When we make these, generally these cakes go to younger children and girls who love Barbies, obviously. And so when one of these kids get one of these cakes, you know, one of these little girls, they think there's a Barbie in that cake. And these Barbie doll dress pans are very small, and it is meant to be used with a pick, and the doll pick is just basically the head and the torso of the Barbie, and that's it. And so, you know, you're going to have some disappointed little girls on your hands. I know I would definitely be disappointed if I got this cake and I was a young child. I would think definitely there's a Barbie in there. So if you make it bigger like this, you can actually put a full-size Barbie doll into your cake, okay? And now I went ahead and prepared her. Her dress was really glittery, so what I did was I went ahead and removed it, and I wrapped her in saran wrap. If it's just a normal dress, there's not much glitter, you can just wrap the whole thing in saran wrap, and then that way when the recipient or the birthday girl gets her cake, she can just pull her Barbie out and pull off the saran wrap, and she's ready to play with her. So it's kind of up to you how you want to do that. Really, either way is perfectly fine. So I went ahead and just tied up her hair and put that in saran wrap so that we don't get icing on in her hair, because we are going to pipe directly onto her body. So I wrapped her all the way down to her feet, and she's going to go directly into the center of this cake once we get more of our icing on. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the crumb coat, and then I'll bring you guys back. So the crumb coat is done, and it doesn't have to be really smooth at this point at all, because we are going to cover her dress with more icing. We are not going to use any fondant on this cake. We're going to actually do the complete dress in buttercream, and so that makes it so much more simple. It's a very beginner level cake, believe it or not. So, and it just takes just a couple of items in order to do this. I'm going to go ahead and let this set up at this point, and then we're going to bring it back and we'll go on to the next step.